Here's more wrestling news for November 9th, 2022. And we're kicking off this afternoon with WWE, who later this month will host its annual Survivor Series event, which this year will feature two of the iconic Wargames matches. Despite being used in NXT, this will be the first time Wargames have been used on the main roster, and WWE has some major plans in store. Brian Alvarez reports that WWE is planning some craziness for the two matches, and this is because they need footage for future video packages. While WWE already has a ton of footage of Wargames, that's from NXT, and many of the stars in the footage are no longer working in the company. In fact, the only NXT Wargames match that featured current WWE superstars was last year and saw Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Pete Dunne, and L.A. Knight face Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, and Tony D'Angelo. Only a few of the superstars in the women's Wargame match have been revealed, and none of the men for their match have been announced yet, but expect plenty of craziness in the Double Cage on November 26th. During a recent episode of Monday Night Raw, Elias returned to WWE TV after months away while his brother Ezekiel was wrestling. While Elias is a former 24/7 champion, he's yet to hold any gold other than that, but he has been getting help from an unlikely source. As Vince Russo explained to Sportskeeda, he's been working with Elias for some time now, pitching ideas and coming up with angles, but they weren't well received by Vince McMahon. Elias and I, not since his return, prior to his return. We went back and forth a lot creatively, and I pitched Elias a lot of stuff that he really liked, and it's really good stuff because he's a very talented guy. Russo added that their ideas were sent to folks at the USA Network, but that WWE didn't seem too interested in what they had planned, which Russo feels is because they didn't understand it. With Vince McMahon gone, perhaps Triple H will be more open to Russo's ideas, but as he explained, the infamous former WWF writer isn't counting on too much changing under the game. Russo isn't expecting WWE to give much to Elias on Raw, but one name who could soon be on the red brand is Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes has been a staple of NXT, having held the North American title earlier this year, but his time in NXT may be about to end. As Dave Meltzer explained on Wrestling Observer Radio, there's been a lot of talk backstage about Grimes being moved up to the main roster, with many influential names saying he's ready. Grimes did recently appear on Monday Night Raw in a backstage segment with the OC and has been competing on WWE Main Event in recent weeks. Typically, WWE uses Main Event to give NXT talent a taste of wrestling in front of a main roster crowd, and Grimes has certainly been able to hold his own on the show. In recent weeks, Grimes has been feuding with the Schism and has rejected Joe Gacy's attempts to recruit him, but the man who's going to the moon may be heading to the main roster soon enough. Speaking of NXT, it was during last week's episode that R-Truth suffered an injury during a match with Grayson Waller after the former 24/7 champion's dive didn't quite make it over the top rope. Not long after, it was reported that WWE feared Truth tore his quad in the incident, which unfortunately is the case. In a video shared online, Truth confirmed the quad tendon tear and told fans that he was with his wife at the hospital and waiting for the surgery. In injuries such as these, a wrestler usually takes 6 months to fully heal up, and this will put Truth on the shelf until early May. Unless Truth has a miraculous recovery, it's expected that he'll miss out on WrestleMania 39 in April 2023, and we're sending our best to the wrestling veteran at this difficult time. Last year, JBL was inducted into WWE's Hall of Fame, a deserving honor for the former world champion and Grand Slam champion. JBL may be known for his career in the ring, but that's not the only legacy he has, as Ric Flair reminded his followers on Twitter this week. In a tweet, the Nature Boy lashed out at WWE and their anti-bullying program Be a Star, saying it clearly doesn't apply to Bradshaw. JBL is a wrestler, but he's also known for being a bully, with countless incidents involving hazing talent and making life miserable for others for his own entertainment. Stories of JBL's hazing include using a homophobic slur against Rene Dupree for being French, telling Justin Roberts to end his own life, and throwing Mark Henry's suitcases in the shower and ruining his clothes. Rick is hardly a saint either, as last year's Dark Side of the Ring covered, but he's clearly got an issue with JBL. Do you think JBL should be in the Hall of Fame, or should his bullying disqualify him from the honor? Let us know in the comments. When his in-ring career came to an end in 2018, Jason Jordan transitioned into being a WWE producer and has proven to excel in his role backstage. Jordan has routinely been responsible for some of the biggest matches over the past 4 years and was kept extra busy during the latest Raw. Fightful Select reports that Jordan produced all of Seth Rollins' segments from Raw, including his in-ring work with the Judgment Day, his open challenge, the attack by Bobby Lashley, and his US title match with Austin Theory. Before his injury, Jordan was being pushed as a potential top star and had all of the tools to make it before his in-ring career came to a tragic end. Ironically, Rollins was Jordan's tag team partner for what would be Jason's last match, but now the American Alpha alum has found a new career path while still working for WWE. Now, this year has seen WWE's Sheamus put on banger after banger after banger, but that all came to a screeching halt when he encountered the Bloodline. After confronting the group last month, Sheamus was laid out and suffered a non-displaced fracture near his elbow, which was just an angle to give him the time off to get married. Now, the newlywed former world champion will be back on our screens soon enough, as PW Insider reports. Sheamus, who has been away from WWE for his recent wedding, is scheduled to be back on the road with WWE as of Friday's SmackDown taping in Indianapolis. The Celtic Warrior and his wife Isabella announced their engagement back in July of last year, and while Sheamus may be the happiest he's ever been as a newly married man, we imagine he'll be all business this Friday night. One name who we doubt will be wrestling on SmackDown is Natalya, who suffered a reported broken nose last week thanks to an attack by Shayna Baszler. Baszler's attack on the former SmackDown Women's Champion looked vicious, but things aren't entirely what they seem. As post-wrestling were first to report, Natalya's nose was not actually broken during the brawl with Baszler, but was instead done to write the Queen of Hearts off of TV. While Baszler didn't actually break Natalya's nose, Natalya has had surgery on her nose, but this was a procedure she had planned long before last week's SmackDown. When Ringside News asked, they were told that Natalya is expected to miss 3 to 4 months of action, but that the veteran superstar has said it's no biggie. Natalya has been on WWE's main roster for close to 15 years and has proven to be one of the company's most reliable superstars, and we're wishing the Canadian a very speedy recovery. For 3 seasons, Vice's Dark Side of the Ring has focused on some of wrestling's most controversial aspects, ranging from the much-maligned Brawl for All to the actions of Chris Benoit. The show has ironically become a source of controversy itself, as their editing has come under scrutiny by some of the stars involved, and it had been rumored that the show had been cancelled. Now, not only is that not the case, but the show's 4th season is in production, as PW Insider has learned that Hacksaw Jim Duggan sat down for an interview with the show. It's unknown what the topic of Duggan's interview is, but given the decades he's spent in the wrestling world, we're sure the Hall of Famer saw a lot go down during his career. The show may be controversial with wrestlers, but has proven to be a hit with fans, and that audience will soon get much more of Dark Side of the Ring. Over to AEW now, as MJF is one of the promotion's top stars and has proven his charisma time and time again in the ring. Now, though, MJF is taking his skills to the silver screen, as Deadline reports that the Salt of the Earth has been cast in the upcoming film, The Iron Claw. The film is based on the life of the legendary but tragic Von Erich family, and MJF joins a star-studded cast that includes Zac Efron and Lily James. In an update, it said that MJF will play Kevin Vaughn, a 1980s wrestler who was billed as a cousin of the Von Erichs named Lance when Mike Von Erich was hospitalized in the mid-1980s. Unfortunately for the fake Von Erich, fans of the family quickly saw through the ruse, especially as Lance did not have a similar look or the same skills his alleged cousins possessed in the ring. It'll be an interesting role for MJF to play an underwhelming wrestler in what will be the AEW star's debut in a feature film, and we're excited to see what MJF brings to this intriguing production. In recent weeks, AEW has been teasing the return of the Young Bucks, who haven't been seen in months due to their role in the all-out backstage fight. An investigation into the matter has seemingly cleared both the Bucks and Kenny Omega, and now the former World Tag Team Champions have a new nickname. According to recent filings, Killing the Business Inc., the Young Bucks LLC, filed a trademark on the term The Wayward Sons on November 3rd. The term can be used for the standard usages in wrestling, including for wrestlers, on merchandise, and used on AEW programming. It is believed that the Elite will feud with the Death Triangle once they're back, and while there's still no confirmed date on the return, the Bucks now have a new nickname at their disposal. More from AEW, as the company is home to many WWE alum, with Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, and Keith Lee all joining this year alone, and now another ex-superstar has made the jump. During last night's episode of AEW Dark, Madman Fulton made his debut for AEW, who fans will remember as Sawyer Fulton in WWE. Once a part of Sanity, Fulton was released in 2017 and has worked for MLW and Impact Wrestling, but finished with the latter company in August of this year. Unfortunately for Fulton, his debut did not go as he would have hoped, as he teamed with Troy Hollywood and Atavalu in a losing effort to the Dark Order. The last time fans saw Fulton in Impact, he was squashed by Josh Alexander in a couple of minutes, but perhaps Tony Khan will have something for the ex-superstar after his debut this week. And we're ending today not with a wrestler, but a wrestling fan, and there are few members of the crowd more dedicated than Vladimir Abouzeide. Deemed Vladimir the Superfan, he has been at some of wrestling's most iconic moments, but a WWE documentary about his life has yet to be aired. Vlad may never have got his flowers from WWE, but during a recent MLW event, the promotion paid tribute to Vladimir and his love of all things wrestling. Vladimir was officially honored as MLW's 2022 King of All Superfans, earning an ovation from the crowd, and the next time you watch wrestling, keep an eye out for Vladimir in the crowd. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.